Right then, so come into a child's pose. We're going to start in a child's pose today. Come onto your mat, bring your knees as wide as your mat, let your hips sink down to your heels and reach your arms forwards. So just use a few moments to really just check in with how your body feels and how your breath feels. So maybe extend your fingers a little bit further forwards, reach the hips a little bit further back, go easy on your knees, Gwen, just be mindful. And just check in. So notice how you're feeling at the beginning of this Sunday morning, if you've slept well or not, if you've got any little aches or pains, how everything's feeling in your body. Just work with it during your practice, not against it. And then start to breathe in and out, smoothly and steadily, filling your lungs all the way to the bottom of your lungs, so that maybe the backs of your ribs expand a little bit. And then as you breathe out, emptying everything out, letting go of any stale air, anything you don't need, softening into the shoulders, relaxing. Taking a few more full breaths like this, breathing in and out through the nose if you can. Maybe sighing out. And one more breath here, breathing in, full breath in. Stretch as far forward with your fingertips as you can, feel into the shoulders. And breathe out, sigh out. Lovely. Next breath in. Just walk your hands over to your right side. Stay low in your child pose. Just walk them over to your right. See if you can bring the left hand on the back of your right hand and stretch through the left side body. Feel that lengthening as you reach the left hip a little bit closer to the left heel if it's lifting up. Just stretch through the side, just easing into the body, easing into that breath, breathing in and breathing out. Lovely, coming all the way back through center and reach your hands in the opposite direction. So stretching towards the left side, maybe reaching the right hand and putting the right hand on the back of the left. Finding a little bit of spaciousness there. And connecting with that breath. Lovely, then come all the way back through center on the next breath in. And press yourself all the way up to a tabletop position. Bring your knees so that they're underneath your hips and your hands so that they're underneath your shoulders. And we're just going to take 3 regular cat and cows and then we're going to change it up a little bit. So as you breathe in, just bring the tailbone up, sink the belly, draw the shoulder blades towards each other, maybe look forwards or up. Get spacious in the front body and exhale round the back, look between your knees. Do 2 more with your breath. Breathing in as you come to the cow position. Lovely, and breathing out as you round the back, look between the knees. 1 more, inhaling. That's lovely, everyone. And exhaling, round and round. Then come back to the middle. And a little bit like a dog wagging its tail, bring your hips to the left. And then turn and look behind you so that you're really sort of shortening that side waist on your left. Exhale here. Lovely. Inhale, come back to center and then take the other side. So bring that right out hip as far to the right as you can and turn and look towards that right hip, shortening that space. Do that a few more times. So over to the left, really shortening it, also lengthening the right side. And then the other side. So it's a little bit like a dog wagging its tail. Use your breath with your movement. You can breathe in any way that feels natural in your rhythm. So you can breathe in as you come to center and out as you twist and look behind you. Good, just take one more in both directions, so on both sides. Left hip comes to the side, look behind. Inhale, come to center, and breathe out, shorten the space on your right side, look towards that right hip coming out to the side. Lovely, come back to the center. Good job. And then tuck your toes underneath, reach your hips up, and find yourself in a downward facing dog. So remember, you're trying to look like an upside down V. Pedal your feet in, walking your dog. It doesn't matter if your heels don't quite reach the floor. Just kind of a nice long spine. Pushing the ground away with your hands. Pressing the heels back, walking the dog. So just finding a little bit of movement in the back of your hamstrings, the calves. Just easing into the day. And then when you're ready, find stillness in your down dog. Press into the hands and feet equally. Remember, your feet are hip width apart, your hands are shoulder width apart. And breathe in, come forwards to a plank. Knees come down, exhale. Hug the elbows in, lower all the way down. Lovely job. Bring your arms behind you. Let's just take a locust, little back bend to start off. Inhale, lifting up the shoulders, squeezing the arms together. Maybe the arms come away from the low spine. Feet together, lifting the feet. Good. Maybe the knees come up, maybe the thighs are a bit engaged. Keep the legs as straight as you can. Gorgeous, everyone. One more breath in, lengthen the back of the neck, look to the top of the mat. Fantastic. And then exhale, lower down, hands under the shoulders. Press back through an active child's pose. So just reach the hips back, arms forward. And then downward facing dog again. Lovely. Should be starting to warm up a little bit now. So bring your knees down on the next breath out. And then step your right foot to the top of the mat. Come up into a lunge, a low lunge with your left knee down. Make sure you either pad that knee or that leg's far enough back. Good. Just going to warm into the shoulders, so reach the arms up. We do this a lot here, I know. Let's take eagle arm, so the right elbow comes down, the left on top. Just warming up into the backs of the shoulders. Lift the elbows up. Maybe start to look up to the ceiling. Send the hips forwards a little bit. Feel into the hip flexor. We're going to walk, we're going to really stretch into these deeply later on in the class. So it's a lot more stretchy, a lot more deep stretching in this class today. Maybe taking a little bit of a back bend if you can, looking up to the ceiling. One breath in. And one breath out. Come back to center. Lovely job. Release the hands either side of that front foot and step back into a tabletop. Just take 2 cat and cows in between sides, just 2. So inhale, tailbone comes up, heart sinks, look forward, and breathe out, round the back, look between the knees. And again, inhaling, coming into that cow position. Wonderful, everyone. Exhale, round the back. Lovely, come back to the center and step your left foot forwards. Coming all the way up into that low lunge, reaching the arms up again. Lengthen here as you breathe in. As you breathe out, bring that left elbow down, cross the right elbow on top of it. Forearms wrapped tightly if you can. Don't worry if the hands don't quite reach. Lift the elbows up. And maybe look up towards the ceiling, take a little bit of a back bend. Only do this if your balance is okay. I know this is a bit challenging with the balance sometimes. So stay with that breath. Stay with your drishti, your gaze up towards the ceiling or ahead. Good. And then as you exhale, come back to center. Release both the hands and step back to a tabletop position. All right, tuck the toes. Let's come all the way up to down dog again. So lift the hips up, engage through the low belly. And reach the heels back towards the back of the mat, but it doesn't matter if they don't touch, remember. Just getting a long spine, nice straight line from your hands, your shoulders up to your hips. Lovely, and when you're ready, just walk your feet until they're behind your hands and have yourself in a forward fold with your feet about hip width apart or maybe a little bit wider. Good job. Bend your knees generously if you need to, remember, so that your belly and your thighs can easily touch. And relax your neck. And then just hold on to opposite elbows, just sway left and right, just warming up a little bit still into the backs of the legs, into the low back, into the shoulders a little bit. Relax the neck. Lovely. And then release the hands. Bend generously into the right knee. Keep the left leg straight. Right hand comes underneath your face, and then turn and reach the left arm up. So the right leg's bent, the left leg's straight. You should feel a nice stretch in the left hamstring. Good. Breathe in, reach up higher with the left fingertips, press down more with the right hand. And exhale, come back to center. Let's change sides, so bend into the left knee. Left hand comes underneath your face, reach the right arm up. Inhale here, really stretching up with the right hand, pressing down with the left, getting spacious in the side of your waist. And then exhale, come back to center. Good. Next, inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time, come all the way up to standing, all the way up to your mountain pose, Tadasana. Good, bring your arms by your sides, ground through your feet. Perhaps set an intention for the day ahead. How do you want to feel by the end of the day? Is there anything specific you want to achieve? Or is you just want to be present right now and not even think about the rest of the day? Just give yourself a moment just to really be here. All right. And we're going to just take a standing side bend before we move through some standing asanas, okay? So reach the arms all the way up, inhaling here. Holding on to that right wrist with your left hand, really lengthen up, and then exhale, go on over towards the left and ground through that right foot. So the opposite side from where you're bending, really ground through that side so that you can get that opposite lines of energy. So you're pulling up, but you're pressing down, getting more spacious in the side of the waist. Lovely. Breathe into that right side body. And breathe out. Lovely. Come back to center. Inhale here and just release the hands. Switch to the other side. Hold on to that left wrist. Lengthen up first. Really lengthen up. And as you breathe out, you're going to bend over towards the other side, towards the right side, and press down into the left foot. So really ground into the left foot as you lift up. Good, nice side body stretch, lovely Lisa. Looking good, everyone. Carolyn looking amazing. Good. And then inhale, come back to center. You'll bring your hands all the way down through your heart space onto your hips. So we're going to step your left foot back, turn the left toes to the left and bend into the right knee. Finding your warrior two straight away, so not moving through any vinyasas too much, just taking straight in our standing poses before we come down and stretch a bit more. So find a strong warrior two. Find yourself grounded but also lifted. So remember, shoulders and hips in one line. Both arms in a straight line. So if you just check your back hand, make sure it's in line with your front and sit down into that front knee. Get strong. Press into the outside edge of your back foot a little bit more. Feel the strength in your legs. Inhaling. And exhaling. So your gaze should be over the front fingertips. Lovely. Taking a reverse warrior. You're very familiar with this, I know. So reach the right arm up. Left arm comes back. You don't need to rest the left arm too heavily, but keep that right knee bent. So you're not coming out of the bend, you're keeping that strength there. Lovely. Finding a bit of spaciousness in the side of the waist while you do this. So reach the arm up and maybe back a little bit. Lovely. Come back to center. Good. Let's find a triangle. So all these familiar poses. Heel toe the back foot in a little bit. And then turn the front palm up and reach forwards, reach forwards. So you're reaching forwards with that right hand. You're not coming down yet. Hold it here. And then just bring that right hand down to wherever it reaches. Turn and open the left shoulder and reach the left fingertips up. So you should have a really nice feeling of lifting up with the left arm and reaching down with the right hand. Lovely, everyone. Doesn't matter how deep you go. You might be right up here, and that's fine too. Perfect. So go where you are. Press into the back foot, press into the front foot. Really stay strong in both legs and breathe. I know we're holding a little bit longer. Lovely. And then inhale, come back to center. Ooh, bend into that front knee. Let's find side angle. So if you've got your blocks, I'd like you to bring your block this time, instead of putting your elbow on the knee, although that is an option, see if you can bring a block on the inside of that foot. If you haven't got a block that you can rest on, bring your elbow onto the knee. And then reach the left arm up to the sky first and then over your ear. So go where you are. If you can reach the ground, obviously, go for it, reach the ground. But I want you to stay really up, sort of open and not pulling forwards like this. I want you to open that side body. Maybe even turn and look underneath that left armpit towards the ceiling, if your neck feels okay. Breathing in. And breathing out. Lovely. Next breath in, come back to the middle. Good job. Bring both hands onto your hips and then turn and pivot your hips to face the front of the mat. So your back heel will be up. A little bit of a balance challenge. So sit down a little bit more into that front knee. Your back knee is probably going to bend as well. And then tuck the tailbone under a little bit so that you're lengthening through the hip flexor here, the left hip flexor. And then try and straighten the back knee while keeping that front knee bent. So if your back knee is bent, tuck the tailbone under, then try and keep that tuck, keep that length. So you're really getting a nice stretch in front of the hip flexor, but you've also got energy through that back foot. Don't worry if you struggle with balance, hold on to a wall or a bit of furniture. That's always a good option, because this is quite a balance. Then reach your arms up. Lovely. And then just like we did on the first side, on the standing before we moved into these poses, we're going to take a side body stretch. So hold on to your left wrist, the same as the back leg, with your right hand. Lengthen up and maybe go a little bit over to that side. Only a little bit, doesn't need to be too much. Can only be about a centimetre or so for you to feel a little bit more of length in that hip flexor. Got all the areas that we shorten every day by sitting down a lot. Good. One more breath, inhale. And exhale, come up to the center, release the hands and step the back foot to meet the front, top of the mat. Oh, should feel a little bit different on your left to right. I'm going to face the back of the mat, but you stay facing forward, we'll do the other side. All right, everyone? So step that right foot back, turn the right toes to the right, bend into the left knee. Come into that strong warrior two. Yeah. So remember, hips in line with shoulders, arms in one strong line. Make sure the back arm and the front arm are really sort of level. And look down the front fingertips. Get nice and low if you can into that front thigh. Find that strength. Notice the difference between left and right. Press into the back of the outside edge of the back foot. Lovely, all looking strong. Can you sit down 1 more centimetre and can you hug your low ribs in? Breathing in and breathing out. Lovely, so gazing along the front fingertips. Come into a peaceful warrior, reversing your warrior. Right hand comes down, left arm reaches up. Find that stretch all the way through the left side body. That's it, Caroline, yes. So you're really lengthening up with the left fingertips. Try not to straighten into that front knee. I know your leg's probably quivering if it's anything like mine. Well done. Breathing in. And exhale, come back to center. Ooh. Straighten the front knee. Heel toe the back foot in a little bit. Come to triangle pose. Sometimes it's nice to start with your back hand on the back hip. So I'm going to start with mine this side on my right hip. Reaching the left arm forward and forward. So I'm not trying to go too low yet, I'm just seeing how far forward I can reach, how much length I can get in the size of my waist. And then that arm just comes down wherever it comes down. Turn and open that right shoulder. reach the right arm up. So this should feel really nice wherever you are. If you're up here, should feel really strong, really nice in the sides of your waist. I don't know if nice is a good word, but you know what I mean, I think. Breathe in, open up, maybe look up, stretch down, find space, and breathe out, find strength. Good. Maybe looking up if you can challenge yourself with balance, or if your neck feels okay. And then come all the way back to center. Notice how your breath is. Make sure you haven't been holding it. Bend into that front knee. Let's find side angle again. So I'm going to move my block to the inside of my front leg. And bending into your front leg, bring that left hand down. Either hand down onto the block or the floor, or elbow onto the knee. Reaching that right arm up and then over your ear. So finding this extended side angle. Maybe looking up and underneath that armpit to find a little bit of openness in the front of your body. See if you can press a little bit more into the back foot, to the outside edge of the back foot. Inhaling. And exhale. One more breath here, breathing in. And breathing out. Lovely, come all the way back to center. Fantastic, hands on the hips. Turn and pivot on that right foot, the back foot, facing the front of the mat. Good, and again, that back knee might bend a little bit as you bend into the front knee. So bend a little bit more into this front knee. High lunge, so it's going to be a challenge with balance because you're on the ball of the back foot and the heels raised. Then tuck the tailbone a little bit so that you feel this length exaggerated in that hip flexor on the right. Try and keep the tucking of the tailbone and then straighten the back leg. See how that feels. Good, hug the lower ribs in, reach the arms up. Let's take that side body stretch that you did on the other side. So do your best, hold on to that right wrist with your left hand. Lengthen as you breathe in and exhale just gently over to the side, not too much so that you lose your balance. Just enough to feel that you're lifting up a little bit higher, stretching into the sides of the waist here. Gorgeous. Well done, everyone. Inhale. And exhale, come back to center. Hands come through center to your heart. Step to the top of the mat. Oh, shaking it off if you need to. All right. Shaking it off, we're going to just come into one more variation of some standing strength poses before we come down onto our mat for a nice deep stretch. So again, hands can come onto your hips if you like. We'll step the left foot back. And again, find warrior two, just a strong warrior two. Reaching the arms long. Good. And from here, we're going to come into a triangle variation. So with the front knee bent, reach that front right arm down towards the floor or a block. Block can be any height. Turn and open the top arm up to the ceiling. So it's like a bit like a triangle, but with your front knee bent. A little bit of a variation of side angle as well. Good. So just get strong here, press into the outer edge of the back foot. Good, and if you find you're folding forwards, bring that left arm, turn the palm to face me, bring it behind your back, so that you've got a little bit of more openness in your chest. That's it, Rhonda, good. This just really helps avoid that sort of folding in like this. Yeah. Next breath in, come all the way back, straighten the front knee, and turn the toes to face the left side of the mat. Bring the feet so that they're parallel. You might want to have a block here just to reach towards. Hands come onto your hips, roll the shoulder blades back and down. Squeeze the backs of the shoulders towards each other, and maybe elbows squeeze in towards each other like you're trying to get them to touch. So keep that openness in your chest, keep your hands and elbows as they are, inhale. And then exhale, hinge from your hips and look forwards. Lead with your chin. When you can't look forwards anymore, just let your neck relax. Then let your arms come down underneath your face, but try and keep open in the front of the body. And fold forwards, hinging from your hips. So it doesn't matter how low you get, you might be here on the block or even up here, that's fine. Trying to straighten through the backs of the legs and the hamstrings. Yeah, keep drawing the shoulder blades back towards each other. So all the movement really of folding forwards is coming from the hamstrings where they attach to your glutes. And breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. Next breath in, come up halfway. So lengthen and look forwards. Hands come onto the hips, that's it, Rondo, yeah. And then inhale all the way up. Turn the right toes to face the front of the mat and step the left foot in a little bit so that we're coming into pyramid. You might want the block at the front again. So that the back toes are sort of facing the front corner of the mat, you've got a shorter gap. And then bring that left out hip forward and right out hip back, and the hands interlace behind you. This is a really nice way to open up through the fronts of the shoulders, get a little bit of spaciousness, but also the hamstrings are going to get a nice opening here. Breathe in first. And then exhale, hinge from your hips, lead with your chin, come forwards with as straight as you can, front leg, but try not to lock the knee out. When you can't go forwards anymore, you just relax your neck again, look towards the big toes. Doesn't matter how far forward you come, you might be here, that's fine. Keep lifting the arms up behind you. It might be quite hard with your arms like that. If it's too difficult, bring your hands onto the block, that's fine. Keep trying to bring your right out hip back and left out hip forward. So it's like you're drawing up through your pelvic floor muscles a lot. Keep that engagement. Press into the back foot a little bit more if you notice you've got more weight into your front foot. This is a really beautiful hamstring one. Parsvottanasana, pyramid. Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath, inhale and exhale. If your hands are still behind, just release them. Bring them down forwards, either onto a block or towards the floor or even on your shin. And just step forwards to the top of your mat fold. So you'll probably notice the difference again between your left and right. Inhale, let's come up halfway, so just squeeze the backs of the shoulders towards each other, lengthen the crown of the head forwards, tailbone back. Lovely. Exhale, fold. And press through the feet, roll up one vertebrae at a time, come all the way up to standing, let your shoulders roll back and down. Hands face the front. Let's do the other side, last side, before we come down to some nice stretches. So step the right foot back to the back of the mat, turn the right toes to the right, bend into the left knee. Finding that side angle triangle variation. So block on the inside of the foot, bending that left knee, straight, strong right leg. Bring that left hand down, turn and open the shoulders, just as though you're doing triangle, but you're a little bit lower. Almost like a side angle, really. But this time the arms reaching up, the other hand's pressing down. Good, so just see where how this feels in your hip. Go easy on your hip, Rhonda, if it's not feeling too good. Just opening up, finding space. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely, next inhale, come back to the center. Turn and pivot your toes again to face the front. And this time we're going to take a goddess pose on this side. So bend into, you're going to bring the toes facing the outsides of your mat, heels in, and bend into those knees. And bring your hands on the insides of the knees. And just start by mobilizing into your shoulders. So breathe in first, find a bit of length in the whole of your upper body. And breathe out, try and bring that right shoulder forwards towards the left thigh or the left knee. Inhale, back to center, stay low in that goddess pose. Exhale the other direction. Breathe in, come back to center, and exhale one more time on each side. Inhale, back to center, lovely. Exhale, over to the other side. And then come back to the middle, sit down in that strong goddess pose, reach the elbows up like cactus arms. Elbows up nice and wide. Find spaciousness here, try and hug the lower ribs in. So keep that engagement in your core. Opening out wide, Sit another centimetre deeper. For 5, 4, well done, Kim, looking strong. 3, come on, Gwen. 2, and 1. Woo. Straighten the knees, hands on the hips. Woo. Turn your left toes to face the front of the mat and step your right foot in a little bit, coming into pyramid on the other side. So if you need your feet a little bit of a wide, like a train track stance, so that they're not, the heels aren't in one line, so they're more like a train track, so they're not like this. So you've got the back foot slightly to the side. That might feel a bit better in your body for your hips. But then try and bring the left out hip back, right out hip forwards. And this time, either hold on to interlace your hands or hold on to the opposite elbows. This is quite a nice way just to open the front of the body as well. So breathe in first, keep bringing that left out hip back, right out hip forwards. Breathe out. Lead with your chin, hinge from your hips, come down with a nice straight back. Keep looking forwards. And when you can't look forwards anymore, relax your neck, look towards that front foot. And just lengthen into this left hamstring a lot, but also keep trying to bring that right out hip forwards, left out hip back, drawing up the pelvic floor muscles, pressing into the right foot. So everything's really active, you're not just hanging out in a passive stretch. Breathe in, and breathe out. Don't forget, you can always sigh out if that feels good to you this morning. Sometimes it does, doesn't it? And then relax your hands down, step to the top of the mat, fold. Or inhale, halfway lift again, squeeze the backs of the shoulders towards each other. Lovely. Exhale, fold. Press the feet down, roll up all the way up to standing. Coming into your mountain pose, shoulders roll back and down, arms by the side. Lovely. We're going to make our way down onto the mat for some beautiful stretches now. So inhale, reach the arms up. Look up if you like, maybe join the palms, take a little standing back bend. This feels quite nice in your body after a lot of strength work. And then exhale, start to bend the knees, fold forwards, come into forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Forward exhale, hands down, step back to a downward facing dog first. And then when you're ready, bring your knees down, find yourself in a tabletop. Okay, so make sure you've got your strap near you and your blocks. You'll probably need these for this. So you can bring your hands onto your blocks straight away if you like. And then we're going to step your right foot in between your blocks to start with. Come into that nice sort of, this is called a lizard lunge. So again, make sure that you're protecting your back knee either with a towel, or sometimes it's nice just to roll your mat up like this, to put double roll underneath that knee. That feels quite supportive. I hope this is all right for your knees. Great. And then we're going to bring your right block inside that right leg. I'm going to turn so that you can see me a little bit better. Hopefully you can. Yeah, so bring both blocks inside that right foot. Lovely. And then heel toe that right foot to the right. A little bit, so that the knee and the foot are in one line. Good. Let's just open up into the inner thigh here for a moment. Just going to take a few breaths, breathing in and breathing out. If you've got the space, you can always come down onto your elbows on the blocks or the floor. That's fine too. I know some of you have got a little bit more hip mobility, and some less. It doesn't matter. Just go where you are with your body. Really, so you're stretching into this right outer hip and inner hip, but you're also feeling this on the hip flexor on your left side. Should feel really good. Lovely. Breathing in and breathing out. Lovely. Then come back onto your hands if you are down on your elbows. Heel toe that right foot to the center and grab a hold of your strap. And then we're going to bring the strap behind, underneath that foot. So you might want to make a loop, or you can just put it sort of at the top so it's wrapped around the foot rather than the ankle. So I like it to wrap around sort of the top of my foot where the ankle joint is. You might not need this. And you're going to hold it into the opposite arm. So you're going to hold it into the right hand. If you can reach around and hold onto that right foot without it, then that's fine. Okay, with your right hand, the left foot with your right hand. So if you can hold that foot with your right hand, you don't need the strap. Otherwise, you're going to grab hold of the strap. And then again, heel toe that right foot to the right. Don't worry if the strap is coming up your leg a little bit, just see if you can bring it around your foot a little bit more. And then turn, opening that knee to the side, so that right knee is going to open to the side a little bit. And maybe turn and kick the foot against the strap and open your shoulder a bit. If you've got a hold of the foot, you'll feel a little bit more openness in your shoulder. So it'll be the right hand holding the left foot. So you should really feel this quite strongly in the hip flexor on the left. If you've got the band, that's good too. Breathe in here. This is quite a deep stretch, so go to your maximum. Remember, we've all got different bodies. Breathe out. Good, then if you're still twisted, to look behind you, turn and face your body towards the front of the mat. Maybe have that strap over your shoulder, and see about kicking that foot against the strap as your shoulders face the front of the mat. You'll feel a little bit more energy in the hip flexor here. Good. So just kick that foot against the strap. Feel a bit of space in the hip flexor on the left back leg. So the strap is over your shoulder, like this. And kicking back. Oh, I know. It's hard holding these poses for a while. We'll do your hamstrings, I promise. And release the strap. Woo. Okay, come back, straighten the front knee. Bring both blocks either side of the feet, so the front foot, so that you've got this hamstring stretch with the right toes pointing up and you're on the left knee still. Lovely. Are you okay with your knees, Gwen, I hope? So from here, you'll be on your blocks probably, and think about bringing that right outer hip back, left outer hip forwards, just like you did in your pyramid, but now you're on that left knee. And then exhale, lengthen your chin as though you're leading with your chin towards your toe, to get in a nice stretch forwards, but you're reaching that right outer hip back. Good. So the more you reach your right outer hip back, the more you can reach your chin forwards. Straightening into the front knee if you can. Yeah, that's good. Inhaling and exhale. So in these deep stretches, we hold them for a little bit longer than normal. So we're not taking all this dynamic movement. We're finding breath in stillness. So see where you are with that. Lovely. One more breath, breathing in. And breathing out. Well done, I know that's tough. Lovely. Bend into that right knee. And then let's release the blocks. And step back into a tabletop. Find yourself in a nice child's pose. Reach the hips back, bend the knees a little. Knees can come out to the side, crown of the head, or forehead forwards. Arms forwards. Just find yourself at this nice stretch in this child pose. We'll do that all on the other side in a moment. Connect with your breath if you've lost it. See if you can breathe in and out as deeply as possible, remembering your intention for the day. Lovely, everyone. I know we're doing something different. It's really good sometimes to take too much movement and not enough stillness. Lovely breath. Next breath in, come back to a tabletop. And let's step the other foot forward. So let's take the left side. So step the left foot forwards. Remember you've got your band near to you. Good. And the blocks as well. So start with the blocks either side of that front foot. Get that back knee comfortable. Make sure you're either folding your mat or coming onto a blanket. Wherever you are. Just go with your body, remember. Lovely. And then heel toe that foot out to the side. So the left foot comes out to the side, heel toe, heel toe. Bring the blocks on the inside of that left leg. And either stay up on your blocks like this, or you can come down onto your elbows, either on blocks or on the floor, just so you can sink into it a little bit more. So I want you to feel this just as much in your left hip that's bent, the front knee, as your right hip flexor, the leg that's straight behind you. Well done, Alex, that's good. Breathing in, and breathing out, softening through the shoulders. Inhaling, and exhaling. Lovely, next breath in. But slowly, if you're down on your elbows, come back to center first. And then walk that foot, heel to that foot, left foot back to the center. Grab a hold of the strap. I know this takes a little bit of organising. And then bring that strap behind that right foot. Holding on to the strap with your left hand, so the other hand. Obviously, if you don't need it, that's fine. But if you want it, then you're going to hold on to the strap with your left hand. Lovely. And then bend, sink into that hip flexor a little bit more, and bend that right knee. Good. Maybe holding onto the foot or the strap, and pushing the foot against the strap to get a bit of opening in your shoulder. So you'll be twisting over the bent knee. So the other way, Lisa. So Lisa, you should be holding it with your other hand, but twisting the over the bent knee. See how I'm going over the bent knee? My bent knee is in front. I know it's difficult to see me. So my left knee's in front, and I'm holding the band with my left hand. My right hand's down on a thing. It's actually easier than trying to hold it with the same hand. Yes, that's it. Sorry, I didn't see you if you did it like that first time. I know it's quite a tricky one, but this is a nice way to stretch into your hip flexor and the psoas, as well as stretching into that shoulder on the opposite arm. So the more you kick back, the easier you will find it. The more stretch you'll find it, should I say. Not the easier. It's not an easy pose, is it? Breathe in. And breathe out. I can't see all of you, Carolyn, so hopefully you're doing okay. And then turn and face your shoulders to the front as much as you can. So you might hold onto your strap and kick that foot against your strap. Oh yes, I feel this a lot in my right hip flexor. Oh yeah, hold on to something if you need to. Breathe in. That's it, Kim. Hopefully this feels okay. And breathe out. Yeah, you might need a longer strap here, Kim. And then slowly relax that. Foot back. Whew. Bring both hands inside that foot. Step back to a tabletop, find a child's pose. Yeah, this should feel nice to go into a child's pose in that hip flexor. It should be feeling nice and warm in that hip flexor now. Just take a few breaths, a few moments to breathe into the back of the body, into the shoulders. Stretch the fingertips long. Lovely. Come back to center. I forgot to do the hamstrings, didn't I? You're probably all thinking, my left hamstring hasn't been stretched. So step the left foot forwards again. I think I did it on the other side, didn't I? And then straighten that left leg so that you've got this nice hamstring stretch. Sorry about that. Think about bringing your left outer hip back and right outer hip forwards. So you should get a nice hamstring stretch here. You can stay as high as you need to. Lead with your chin. Remember, it's as though you're trying to reach your chin towards your toes. Keep bringing that left outer hip back and right outer hip forwards. So you've got opposite lines of energy. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other at the back and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Lovely, everyone. About 3 more breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. Lovely. 2 more. And exhale. Lovely. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Just bend into that left knee. Bring both hands down and step back into that tabletop. And instead of coming back into that child's pose, let's take 3 cat and cow. So just ease into that hip, those hips. Bring the tailbone up. Sink your belly down. Look up. Breathe out round the back. You might want to take circles in there. Do whatever feels intuitive, maybe side to side again. Just taking your cat and cow variations, just easing into the spine, easing into those joints that you just moved and held these stretches. Lovely. Okay, from here, we're going to go into a nice outer hip stretch. In fact, I'm going to come onto your back. So just step on, come onto your knees, lean over to one side, and lie back onto your back. Let's take some nice lying down stretches. So let's take a nice supine pigeon. If you prefer to do this on your knees, then you can, but I know there's a few people with knee issues, so I'll demonstrate it like this. But if you'd rather do a traditional pigeon, I'll show you that in a minute as well. You can do it. So bend both knees so that they're hip width apart, and bring that right sole of the foot onto the left knee. Let that right knee go out to the side, and then hug the knee in towards you. Maybe you can hold in front of the shin, maybe you're holding behind the hamstring, that's fine. Keep trying to bring that right knee out to the side a little bit more. Maybe you're helping it with your right hand. And try and lengthen, see how it feels to lengthen the tailbone down. Hug the knees into your chest, hug that left knee in, and soften the shoulders. So taking probably about 8 breaths here. So getting a nice out hip stretch. So if you're doing a regular pigeon, you will have brought that right knee to the outside edge of the right outside edge of the mat, and straighten the left leg. And then you'll come down forwards like this. But this isn't suitable for everybody's knees. So I think everyone's doing it on their backs, and it's just as good a outer hip opening if you're on your back. So you can do it on your back just as efficiently as on your as upright. Take about another 4 breaths here, breathing in and out, and see if you can breathe into the hip space there a little bit more. I know that sounds strange, but where our attention goes, that's where our energy flows. So you bring your attention to a space in your body that you want to feel that energy, where you want to feel a little bit more alive or a little bit more open. And then as you breathe out, see if you can soften into it. One more breath here, breathing in and breathing out. Lovely. And then bring that left foot down, but keep the right knee, right ankle on top of that left knee. I'm going to come into a nice twist. So bring that right foot towards the left side. It's going to come down onto the floor, and the right knee still pointing up to the ceiling. And then the arms come out to a T, and just turn and look over your right fingertips. Keep trying to open that right knee a little bit to the side. Don't let it fold in. And notice how that feels in the hip as well. You might even bring your right hand towards it, or your left hand towards it. In fact, the left hand towards it and then reaching the right arm out to the side feels really nice in my hip right now. Might be a bit too deep, so go where it's best for you. Getting a nice twist and breathing into it, so holding it a little bit longer. So breathing in, knowing that you're breathing in. Breathing out, know that you're breathing out. Just really being here, being present. Remembering your intention for the day ahead if you have one. Wonderful. Take another 2 breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. And one more. Lovely, and then just bring those knees back up to center. Undo that right ankle from your left knee, and just hug your knees in towards you a moment. Massage your low spine. Up and asana, so this is a nice little hug. But we do the other side. Lovely. And then bring your right sole of your foot down, put your left ankle on your right knee. Really make sure that that left knee is pressing away from you, and then pick up that right knee, bring it in towards your chest. Lovely. And then reach through the gap in the middle, maybe hold behind the hamstring or in front of the shin. Depends where you've got the space. Always listen to your body. Keep trying to work that left out hip away, that left knee away from you, so that you feel this left hip a little bit. And just breathe into that space a bit more. Heavy the shoulders. See if you can heavy your hips a little bit, so that your bottom's not lifting up too high. You'll feel a little bit more intensity when you do that. So easy if you've got hip problems. So if you do have hip issues, you can always bring that right sole of the foot down and just work that left knee out to the side a bit more. Or you can always do this with one foot against the wall, and you're quite close to the wall, and you can get closer to intensify it. So there's lots of different variations that you can do this. Sometimes you don't need to do a full-on yoga practice. You can simply connect with your breath and your body by taking a few sort of intentional stretches like this in your day. So it's always good stretches to do, especially as I know a lot of you like walking. In fact, I know all of you like walking. One more breath. Breathe in. And breathe out. Bring that right foot down onto the floor, and then you're going to let that left sole of the foot come over to the right, so that the left knee is pointing up. The right knee will probably be on the mat. And you might want to press that right inner thigh away from you a little bit with your right hand, and reach your left arm out to the left. So you're getting a little bit of a twist, but you're also feeling into the hip. Hopefully this is okay for you. Go ahead. So the left sole of the foot should be on the mat, with the left knee up to the ceiling. Okay, and then just breathe into this twist, sort of really try and open out that top knee, that left knee which is up to the ceiling. Open it away from you, so you're feeling a twist, but you're also feeling this in the hip flexors a little bit. to the center. Undo that ankle from the knee and hug your knees in. Just rock your low spine against the mat. And then let's take one more front body opening. So grab a hold of your blocks. Lift your hips up. We're going to take a nice supported bridge. So I like to have mine on the lowest level for this, but you might find you want it higher or on the medium level. The reason for that, so it's coming underneath your sacrum, the block is. So it's not high up your back, it's not in the middle of your back. It's underneath the sacrum, which is the bottom of your spine. So the reason I like it on the lowest level is so that I can straighten my legs out without hurting my low back. And then I'm going to reach my arms up behind me. So if you feel that in your body it feels better to be up higher on the block, that's fine. And you can let your legs come out about hip width apart. If it doesn't feel good in your low spine to straighten your legs, then just bend your knees and find a nice sort of length here. But hopefully you can all straighten your legs and feel a nice hip flexor stretch. Find a nice body opening in the front of the chest, front of the hips, the whole of the core should be opening up. And breathe into all these spaces that we often close up during the day. We shorten when sitting. Just give yourself about another 7 or 8 breaths here. Breathing into these spaces. Maybe sighing out. Relaxing any tension in your glutes. Let your legs go out to the side a little bit more. Let go of any tension in your shoulders, your jaw. Take about another 3 breaths. Inhaling and exhaling equally with your breaths if you can. Lovely, and then you're going to bend your knees, plant your feet. You reach out. If you want to stay here, you can stay here. Some people love it. Otherwise, take the block out from underneath. Lower the spine down. Hug the knees in. Give yourself a little bit of a loving squeeze. Knees into your chest. Maybe if it feels nice to round your spine by bringing your chin up to your knees. That feels nice sometimes. And then coming into your shavasana. Let your legs come out long, the palms facing up. You can use this as a time just to quiet your mind, just to find a bit of peace in your day before it all begins. Just to let go and just to be. No need to do, just be. As I always say, try to give yourself at least a minute or 2. We know it's hard, especially when you're in your own house and there's probably things you want to get on with. Give yourself this time. Because you all deserve it. As I say, I'm not going to guide you out. And I'll see you another time. Lots of love to you all. Namaste.